Good morning, dear students. How are you and how things are going with you? I miss you all. I hope you are doing very well. Today I welcome you to our 16th lecture. And we are studying an introduction to literature, and we study different literary genres. And finally, we've arrived to the drama part. I think today we are going to take an example of a play after having discussed elements of drama. And that you will be given a course in drama, so you will study a lot of things that our course might not be able to cover. I've chosen a play for you which is classified as a tragedy. I mentioned that plays can be tragedies or comedies, and we are going to study one of the most famous tragedies in history. Actually, our play is going to be Oedipus the King. A tragedy is often defined as a play that has a sad ending. But I believe this is oversimplification. Drama has more details than simply saying it's a sad ending or a happy ending. But for the time being, because you are just in an introductory part of your study, so it's enough to say that it is a play that has a sad ending. And inshallah, in the future, you will have more details. Our play for today is one of the most famous plays, Oedipus the King. Oedipus was taken as the basis for the definition of drama by the famous Greek philosopher Sophocles. It is often believed that when Sophocles wanted to lay the foundations of drama, he had Oedipus the King in mind. And this is the reason behind my choice. Okay, so the first thing that might attract your attention is the title. Oedipus the King, or Oedipus Rex, is a tragedy by the ancient Greek playwright Sophocles, who was as famous as Shakespeare during his lifetime. The play was performed first around the 5th century. It was performed about 429, that is the first 2 decades of the 5th century. It was the second of Sophocles' 3 Theban plays to be produced, but it comes first in the internal chronology, followed by Oedipus at Colonus and then Antigone. So what I'm trying to say here is that the Greek people used to write their plays as trilogy or 3 plays. So one play starts the story, and then it is followed by other 2 plays. So Oedipus the King is the first play, and then it was followed by Oedipus at Colonus and Antigone. The 3 plays were written by the same writer, Sophocles, and the 2 other plays are based on your understanding of Oedipus the King. Now, it follows the story of King Oedipus of Thebes. Thebes is the city where Oedipus used to be a king. Oedipus actually discovers a very horrible thing. He discovers that he has unwittingly and unintentionally killed his father, Laos, and married his own mother, Jocasta. And of course, this kind of story became one of the most famous Greek tragedies because of its excellence as the summit of Sophocles' achievements. The summit means the peak or the highest point of our dramatists' achievements. In drama as well as in fiction, when we start with something, we start with the plot. And before I talk about the structure of plot, I would like to introduce a summary of Oedipus the King. Shortly after Oedipus's birth, his father, King Laos of Thebes. So Oedipus is a king, and his own father used to be a king. So after the birth of Oedipus to his father, King Laos, he learned from an oracle that he, Laos, was doomed to perish by the hand of his own son, and he ordered his wife, whose name was Jocasta, to kill the infant. Notice how horrible the oracle is. Now, what is the oracle? The oracle is a kind of prediction, something that foretells the future. The Greek people used to ask about the future of their children before they were born. Actually, the oracle is the source of information about what is going to happen in the future. So, what was the future for Oedipus according to this oracle? The future of Oedipus is to kill his father, King Laos, and to marry his mother, Queen Jocasta. Of course, the title of the play, Oedipus the King, has always been associated with the theme of fate. Okay? So, probably one of the important themes of this play is the issue related to fate. Do we, as human beings, do we always accept our fate? Actually, we don't. And most of the times we try to avoid our fate. And this is exactly what King Laos and his wife Jocasta tried to do. They came to know that their son is doomed. He is going to kill his father and marry his mother. So why not change his fate by killing him? So as you can imagine, King Oedipus is the protagonist of the play. Other characters include his father Laos, his mother Jocasta. We have the priest of Zeus, whose name is Tiresias, Creon, the uncle of Oedipus, and the brother of his mother, you know. We have the chorus, we have the prophet Tiresias, and we have the messenger, and we have some men who used to serve King Laos. However, even though Jocasta tried to kill her baby, but neither she nor her servant could really bring themselves to kill this infant. And he was actually abandoned. He was left on top of a mountain, and they actually pierced his ankle in order to fix him to the mountain so that he would die without even being noticed. But God will have his own will. Anyways, there he was found and brought up by a shepherd. You know a shepherd? A shepherd is someone who takes care of the sheep. This sheep took him and decided to raise him. He felt sorry for him. So he took him to a city known as Corinth. 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 And the king of Corinth, and his name was Oedipus, decides to raise him as if he were his own son. Oedipus was raised by King Oedipus, and he grew to manhood actually. But people started talking about him, saying that he is not the son of the king. So Oedipus, exactly like his parents, tried to go and consult the oracle. And the oracle foretold that he would marry his own mother and kill his own father. So the oracle did not make his life easy, but rather much more difficult. Oedipus was told, "You are a poor man. You will kill your father and marry your mother. Of course, Oedipus was desperate to avoid his foretold fate. And he still believes that Polypus and his wife Merope were his true parents. So he decided to leave Corinth, the city where he was brought. Actually, Oedipus is like his parents. He wanted to avoid the prediction of the oracle. He wanted to prove that he is not going to kill his father and marry his mother. So he left his parents, who were of course not real, who were not his real parents. And on the road to Thebes, and remember, Thebes is his birthplace. Thebes is the place where his father and mother lived. So on the road to Thebes, he met Laios, his real father, and unaware of each other's identities, they quarreled, and Oedipus's pride led him to murder Laios, fulfilling part of the oracle's prophecy. Where did Oedipus actually meet his father? As the myth says, he met him at the crossroads, where two or more roads meet. And over there, he quarreled with his father. And you know, Oedipus was already mad and he was angry because of the oracle. So he killed the guards of his father because they wanted to push him so that King Laios would be able to pass. So Oedipus is very proud, and I want you to keep this in mind. One important thing about Oedipus is that he is a very proud person. So Oedipus actually killed his father, and he continued his way to Thebes, the city where he was born. Later, he found that there was the Sphinx. The Sphinx is a legendary animal. It's not a real animal. And that the Sphinx put a riddle to the people of Thebes. And they are supposed to solve the riddle. Actually, Oedipus was a very smart person and very quick-witted. So Oedipus was able to solve the riddle of the Sphinx. And in doing so, he freed the kingdom of Thebes from the curse of this legendary creature, the Sphinx. Sphinx. And you know, King Laios was killed and his queen was left as a widow. So what's the normal thing? Yes, actually, Oedipus was unfortunate enough to marry Queen Jocasta as a reward because he killed the Sphinx. He actually married his biological mother, and he was given the crown of the city of Thebes. In other words, yes, he became the king. So now the prophecy was thus fulfilled. He killed his father and married his mother as the prophecy was supposed to be. Although none of them knew about what has happened. They are unaware of what happened. Now, this is the exposition of the play, the things that happened before the actual beginning of the play. Now, when does the play start? As the play opens, a priest and a chorus First, I have to tell you what a chorus is. A chorus is a group of actors or singers. Even in Arabic, we call it chorus. And the chorus in Greek drama was very important. And the chorus in this play consists of the Theban elders, that is, the old men of Thebes. And the play starts with the old men of Thebes, who are the chorus here, are calling on Oedipus, that is King Oedipus now, to help them with the plague which has been sent by Apollo to ravage the city. The city has lately been plagued, like when the city is under the influence of an epidemic disease, as the plague. And Apollo is the Greek god of prophecy. Apollo, I'm sure you have heard the name. Apollo. Apollo was angry, and therefore the city was about to be destroyed. So, why is that? Actually, the gods are angry because King Leos killed his father and married his mother. And when does this occur? I mean, the beginning of the play. It's after 15 years, I believe, of the marriage of Oedipus to his own mother. Actually, Oedipus had even 4 kids by his mother. He has 2 daughters and 2 sons. So the people of Thebes are asking their king to help them out. You know, he's a king, so he's responsible. Oedipus has already sent a Creon, Creon. They sent a Creon, and the Creon is the brother of Jocasta, his wife, and who is also, yes, his mother. He sent Creon, his brother-in-law, to consult the oracle. Again, notice the importance of the oracle on the matter. So they went to the oracle, which is very much like when we say in Arabic, al-Arrafe, at Delphi, to ask her about the matter. And when Creon returns, at the very moment, he reports that the plague will only end when the murderer of their former king, Laios, is caught and brought to justice. So the gods are angry because the killer of Laios lives among the people of Thebes. You know, Laios used to be the king of Thebes, and now the killer of Laios lives among them. So the gods are angry and they want Oedipus to take revenge. As Creon comes and reveals what the oracle said, Oedipus swears to find the murderer. And ironically enough, he curses the murderer for the plague that he has caused. Isn't this what we call irony? And specifically tragic irony? When you say something and it means something to you and it means something else to the audience, who are better acquainted with the truth. When Oedipus curses the murderer, he actually curses himself. Now, Thebes used to have a very intelligent and devoted prophet. His name is Tiresias, and some people say Tiresias. Tiresias. Tiresias claims that he knows answers to all of Oedipus's questions, but refuses to speak. Now, the question is, why did Tiresias refuse to speak? Well, he wanted to protect Oedipus. But is Oedipus going to understand that Tiresias is trying to protect him? I think Oedipus is too proud to know that. So what did Oedipus do? Actually, he wanted Tiresias to speak out, and he wanted to know everything. And do you think that we should know everything? And isn't knowledge sometimes dangerous? Well, I leave it to you. Tiresias advises Oedipus to abandon his search and not to dig in the past. Now, in addition to the pride of Oedipus, Oedipus also has a very dangerous kind of fault in his character. Oedipus actually has a blind trust in his mental powers. He believes that he doesn't make mistakes and that he's too intelligent to commit mistakes. He has what we might call an unqualified trust in his mental abilities, and he often jumps to conclusions. So when Tiresias refused to reveal the truth, Oedipus showers Tiresias with accusations. And he even goes as far as saying that Tiresias has plotted with Creon, the brother of his mother, who seemingly appears to the people as his brother-in-law, whereas in reality he is his maternal uncle. So he accuses Oedipus of having plotted with Creon in order to take his throne. You know, kings are obsessed with the thrones and they always feel that someone is going to overthrow them. So this is exactly what occurred to the mind of Oedipus. Tiresias is very knowledgeable, but when he is provoked, he cannot control himself. So actually, he was provoked into telling the king the whole truth, and that he himself is the murderer. Of course, anyone who is in Oedipus's place will not believe Tiresias. Oedipus dismisses this as nonsense, accusing Tiresias the prophet of being corrupted by the ambitious Creon in an attempt to overthrow him, as I said. Tiresias became very angry. He even became outraged. And therefore he leaves the palace, putting forth one last riddle, that the murderer of Laos will turn out to be both father and brother to his own children, and the son of his own wife. Remember, Oedipus reminded Creon and reminded Tiresias of the riddle that he solved when he came to Thebes. And he said, I am the intelligent guy, I am the one who solved the riddle. So Tiresias said to him, okay, here is a good riddle for you. Try to solve it. Try to think about it and to come up with an answer. You are both the father and the brother of your own kids, and you are the son of your own wife. I think it's clear enough. Oedipus becomes very angry and he demands that Creon be executed, convinced that he is conspiring against him or plotting against him, if you like. And only the intervention of the chorus, and remember, the chorus is the elderly people of Thebes, persuades him to let Creon live. Now, Jocasta, the wife of Oedipus, tells him that he should take no notice of prophets and oracles anyway. In order to cool him down, she mentions what happened many years ago. She tells him about what happened with her, and she says that she and Laos received an oracle which never came true. This prophecy said that Laos would be killed, by his own son. But as everyone knows, Laos was actually killed by thieves at a crossroads on the way to Delphi. She says to him, my husband was supposed to be killed by his own son, but actually he was killed by Thebes. The mention of crossroads, as I said, causes Oedipus to give a pause and suddenly becomes worried that Tiresias's accusations may actually have been true. Remember, Oedipus is the one who killed his father before he came to Thebes. They met at a crossroads. So he still remembers the thing. So the memory of the murder is still in his own brain. So Oedipus started to think, is it possible that Tiresias was telling the truth? Now, Oedipus became the king of Thebes and he forgot about Corinth, the place where he was raised. But after Jocasta mentions that not all oracles become true, we know that there is a messenger from Corinth. This messenger arrives with the news of the death of King Polypus, the man who raised him. He is not his biological father, but he treated him as if he were his own son. Oedipus shocks everyone around him with his happiness at the news, as he sees this kind of thing as a proof that he can never kill his father. Of course, this means that Oedipus still thinks that Polypus is his real father, although he still fears that may somehow commit another crime, which is marrying his mother. Now, exactly like Jocasta tried to ease him, also here we have the messenger. It tried to ease Oedipus's mind, so he tells him not to worry because Queen Merope is not his own mother. Imagine. Instead of easing him, he actually made him feel suspicious. The amazing coincidence, however, is that the messenger turns out to be the very shepherd who had looked after an abandoned child, which he later took to Corinth and gave up to King Polypus for adoption. So he is the same guy who took Oedipus for adoption. He is also the very same shepherd who witnessed the murder of Laos. Notice the irony. By now, Jocasta is beginning to realize the truth. And again, she desperately begs Oedipus to stop asking questions. Isn't this the same advice that was given to him by Tiresias? Yes, it's the same advice that was given to him by Tiresias. But Oedipus is going to practice his own pressures on the shepherd in order to know the truth. So Oedipus really presses the shepherd, threatening him with torture or execution, until it finally emerges that the child he gave away was Laos's son, and that Jocasta had given the baby to the shepherd to secretly be exposed upon the mountain side. Why? Because they were afraid of the prophecy that Jocasta thought had never come true. But actually, it became true without her knowledge. Notice that Oedipus continued his quest for the truth. But do you think that knowing the truth is for the good of Oedipus? Now, after having met this messenger who was also the shepherd, all the riddles were solved. And the truth was finally revealed. Can you imagine Oedipus' situation as he came to know the truth? I'm sure he was in a horrible situation. With all now finally revealed, Oedipus curses himself. He lays curses on himself. and his tragic fate. And the chorus started to comment on the issue of fate. During this period of time, a servant enters and explains everything to Jocasta, the desperate mother who is also the wife. Now, when Jocasta came to know what happened to her, she ran to the palace and hanged herself. You see this tragic end of the queen? She committed suicide. She killed herself, yes. Now, Oedipus was too sad to think of what happened to him and to find a solution, but rather he thought of punishing himself. So in the final analysis, Oedipus takes two long gold pins from his mother's dress. You might call them pins or brooches, I don't know. He took these things from the clothes of his mom and he plunges them into his own eyes. It's like when we say in Arabic, فقأ عينيه. So he actually plucked his own eyes. The question is, why his own eyes? Oedipus comes to realize that blindness is not simply something physical, but rather something spiritual, and that insight is much more important than sight. That is, البصر والبصيرة. البصيرة أهم من البصر. So he thought that his insight is much more important than his sight. So he came to punish himself by plucking his eyes. And this should remind us of what happened early in the play. Remember, Tiresias is a blind prophet, and Oedipus made fun of the blindness of Tiresias, sorry. But Tiresias tells him that he who makes fun of my blindness will become blind himself. This was how Oedipus punished himself. Now, blind, Oedipus begs to be exiled as soon as possible and asks Creon to look after his two daughters, Antigone and Ismene. Remember, Oedipus had 4 kids by his mom, 2 sons and 2 daughters. Yes, that's right. His 2 daughters are Antigone and Ismene. And these 2 daughters are going to be the characters in a play entitled Antigone. And the 2 daughters were actually lamenting that they should have been born into such a cursed family. Creon comes up with this kind of conclusion that Oedipus should be kept in the palace until the oracles can be consulted regarding what is best to be done. And the play ends as the chorus wails and laments. The last line of the play was memorable. The last line of the play was, "Count no man happy till he dies, free of pain at last." And this means that no man can be classified as happy unless he goes down happily to his own grave. That is, life has its ups and downs, and you can never envy someone for being happy because you don't know what's going to happen to him at the end of his life. So this is a quick summary of Oedipus the King, and I think next time we shall move to talk about the analysis of the play and the main characters of our play. Till we meet again, thank you very much. Goodbye and have a nice day. Thank you.